Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. We're excited that you've joined us as we have a conversation. We found that a good conversation allows us to share what's on our mind, whether current events, what's grinding our gears, or our pet peeves.
It also allows us to share our top 3, a list of our favorite things on any given subject, most of which are highly opinionated. In closing, we share a good word. Solid friendships are encouraging. Even if we joke and give each other a hard time, our ultimate responsibility is to uplift each other.
Our goal is that you'll feel like you're part of the conversation, like you were in the studio with us, and that you feel encouraged after tuning in to our podcast. It's time to join the conversation.
All right, welcome. We're glad to have you with us today. We've got an exciting show for you. We're going to find out what's on Troy's mind. I heard excited. It's dangerous.
It is.
It's a dangerous thing on Troy's mind. We're going to cover our top 3 pizza chains. I'm predicting some similarities between Troy's list and my list, but you're not going to have that similarity, Matt.
Nope.
No, our number one's going to be the same. I'm just going to call it right now.
And then
I think you guys have already talked about it in a previous podcast.
Yeah. And we'll continue to talk about it whenever we get to talk about great pizza places.
That's right.
Number third on our list of what we're covering today, Matt's going to give us our good word out of the chosen book. So, Troy, what's on your mind, my friend?
So recently, I had a friend ask me, "Hey, man, do you collect knives?" And I was like, "No, but over the years..."
Let me help you. The answer to that question is always yes.
I'm getting to that.
Okay, you never say...
Not really.
Okay. No. Because no question have you ever collected knives. Like, at no point the follow-up to that is going to be bad. Unless you're like, I hate knives. Right. So...
All right, let me
I'd love to start.
I really don't think that's what happened. I think I said, yes! Okay. Of course I do.
Who wouldn't?
But, no, what I said was, I have a bunch of knives that I've collected over the years from being a kid, getting them as gifts from my dad or going hunting and just getting them passed down, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
His next question was, have you ever made a knife?
Okay.
And I said,
you can say no to that. Tell the truth. Yeah.
No, I have not. And so we got to talking, and he has a forger. And so he forges steel into knives and then puts a handle on them, shapes them with a grinder and everything. And so he asked me if I wanted to do it.
Dude.
And so I got to do it.
Yeah.
And I brought it today.
You don't have any burns on you?
You want to see it? No burns. I mean, it's been a few weeks since I did it, but
yeah. Let's see what you got, man.
No burns. I didn't cut myself, which is a shocker. I know. And I didn't use the grinder too much because I was not doing it right. I couldn't get the technique down right, and I didn't want to ruin the knife.
Is that where you put the edge on it, the grinder?
Yeah. So you do a lot of the skill with it is the grind, forging and hammering it out, and then the grinder is a lot of.
So it's in that case.
It's in this protective case.
Yeah.
So I don't stab myself or kill myself.
I was wondering what was in there. A zippered pouch.
Yeah. So here it is.
Check that out.
I made this myself with the help of my friend Ross, who does this.
Yeah, let me see it.
Yeah.
Where'd you get like the steel? Like what's
So he purchases the steel.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has an experience that you can buy a ticket to and set up a time with him on a Saturday and go through like an 8 to 10 hour training or knife making class to make one of these. And this is a brute de force, which is French for what?
Brute force?
No. French for in the rough.
Oh, okay.
It's a clip point hunter.
What kind of wood is that on there?
That is a special kind of wood that I got to choose from, and it was the darkest wood, so I chose that because I thought it would look the best.
Burl? Is that called burl wood?
I'll have to get the name of the actual wood because I forgot.
So, like your process that you went, did you like hammered this stuff after you heated it up and did all that?
So you have to heat it up, and you can only hammer it a certain number of times before it gets cold again, and then you got to put it back in the forge.
Yeah.
So the longest parts of the whole thing are the hammering of the forge, and then once it gets to the grinder, so you have to cook it.
Did you like cut that shape out? Like, did you draw that out, or he already had a template?
So he has like 3 or 4 different shapes that you can choose from, and he'll help you get to whichever shape that you want.
Yeah.
So he'll draw it out, and he has these wooden ones already carved out that you can look at to say, oh, I want to do that.
Get an idea for size and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so then you measure the handle to fit your hand, and the middle part is in between your middle finger and ring finger.
Yeah.
So it fits my hand like perfect, whether you're chopping, slicing, or like skinning something.
Stabbing.
I guess stabbing would be more like this, so I'm not sure it really fits your hand for stabbing.
Sure. Turn it like this.
Oh, there you go. That's good.
What's the
You're trained killer.
what are the markings on that? Like what happened here?
So those are you can grind those off, or you can leave them. So that's just
Like character.
Yeah, it just adds
Distressed.
character, and that's you can see if you feel that there's little indentions right there at the top of the knife. That's where some of the hammers.
Oh yeah.
The hammer came down on it a few times.
How big was the hammer?
Big mallets, about
5 pounds.
8 inches,
Yeah.
maybe smaller than that. I don't know. Yeah, big mallets you're swinging. I mean, they're heavy.
So I forged with a buddy of mine in Kentucky,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, it's sharp. Watch out, Chet just cut some paper.
don't cut my desk.
Let me try that one more time.
Get a little closer. It'll be in your throat.
Please don't kill anybody with my knife.
Hey, you got to get blood on it.
I will eventually.
It might as well be Chet's. But no, so I was forging with a buddy of mine in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And he'd gone off and got trained by a couple of brothers that have been doing it for a long, long time. And so he had a little forge at his house and a little kiln, and you stick it in, stick the knife in there or the metal, and it gets red hot, and then you start hammering. And then because it gets too cold, you put it back in, take it back out, hammer it again,
Over and over.
and then,
Yep.
So I was trying to go with a little bit of a longer knife, and then the shape, because I didn't know what I was doing. He was just kind of telling me, yeah, just do this, and then just see what comes out, And so I was doing that. And I mean, every time I started hitting it, and I'd be like, oh man, that edge is going to be super sharp, cause I was pounding it so thin. And then the tip would break off, and then you'd have to keep going. And then the tip would break off. So I ended up with a knife that was about 4 inches long, but it was super fat. But it was 4 inches long. But that was a tiring process, hammering that out.
How long did it take you, like start to finish?
About 8 hours.
Yeah,
It's 8 to 10 hours for the whole process.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not an easy process.
For us, it was actually a 2-day thing because I had
Stuff to do.
other engagements. So we forged it one day, and then we shaped it and cooked it and everything with the grinder, and put the handle on, all that the next day. So, yeah, a lot of different steps go into it.
So what's that? And you don't know the name of that wood?
No, I don't remember.
Is it like tiger?
No, it wasn't tiger.
Yeah, that's
Well, because you can see in the grain.
tiger's an animal, not a tree.
Right, but you can see in the grain of the wood there, it looks like there's little eyeballs or spots, like leopard spots, and I can't remember. There's some kind of wood, because they've got purple heartwood, which is what I actually put on one of my knives, was purple heartwood.
Nice. Yeah,
That's
I'll
cool, dude.
find out the name so we can put it in the description. But yeah, if you're looking for, a fun activity to do with your son or something like that. Dad, son.
He's here in Wichita?
Whatever. He's here in Wichita. He has had people come out of town to come to his experience before. But yeah, his name is Ross Jaggers, and you can get in touch with him, Ross at jaggersknives.com, and it's JAGEARS knives.com. And we'll put all this information in the show notes and everything. But yeah, it's quite the experience.
Next thing you have to work on is the sheath for that, by the way.
Right.
Instead of a zippered purse.
Yeah, he gave me this zippered
Purse.
protective man purse to to keep it in so I didn't stab myself or my kids get a hold of it.
Why'd you choose that shape?
I don't know. I thought it looked cool. I like the beveled edge on top there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, in your little indentions there
Yeah.
is almost like a blood groove.
Oh.
So when you're stabbing somebody, it leaks out.
I'll collect some blood. Like Dexter, huh?
So something.
And
But,
that
no, and what but the funny thing about that is I was asking my buddy, because he like you, he went and had somebody teach him how to do it, and then he started doing it, and he got like in his backyard, and this is like all he did, almost every day, all the time. He's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm out forging a knife,
Yeah.
or I'm out forging this, or I'm working on trying to do a hatchet now, or whatever it is, and
Oh yeah.
and but the equipment is actually surprisingly inexpensive, depending on the size of forge that you're going to get. But after I left, I was like, dude, that might be kind of fun just to have something to tool around with on the weekend or something like that when you're nothing really to do. And, you can get some of those forges for like 150, 160 bucks. They're not big, they're small, and I think they're propane
heated,
propane fired, and,
yeah.
little mallets, some gloves to, and some
Yeah.
long pliers. And
Ross created his own forge. So it has openings at both ends, so 4 people can actually forge at one time.
Oh, yeah. So you can have multiple people.
Yeah, and it'll actually one end actually opens up, so you can put bigger things in there if you're wanting to do like a what's that, butcher's knife, cleaver. That's it. If you want to do a cleaver or a machete,
Leave it to cleaver.
something like that. And he has examples of all those. He's done a bunch of different kinds. So
I think the most expensive part of that when I was looking was the anvil.
yeah,
And trying to find, like, you wanted to find an old one, and those old anvils get pretty pricey.
Dude, that utility knife he has looks...
are you checking out his website there? Sweet.
I'm wondering why you didn't pick this, but I mean, you could do you.
Oh, well, we had to pick, the one, this was the design.
Oh, okay.
This was the knife and size. We just had to pick like the angles and the shape of the blade. So, yeah.
Oh, so what you're telling me is that's what your knife is supposed to look like, and that's what Troy's first time knife came out.
No.
It's like, we're not gonna get there, but we can.
Dude, he helps you like with you can do leather work and all that kind of stuff and make your own sheath. And
yeah,
if you were to kill a deer whose horns have broken through the skin, you could use a deer antler as a handle. Now you'd be doing thumbtacks.
That would be a really short knife.
nice.
Maybe you could put that as a button on the end, and then use 550 cord going up for your actual handle.
Yeah, that's good.
No, it's got some cool stuff here.
It's the button.
The old button buck. Yep.
So dude, that's a neat deal. Were you sore after swinging that hammer?
Oh yeah, it'll tear your back up more than anything if you're not standing right.
Yeah.
But he teaches you the correct form and kind of watches so you're not killing yourself and injuring yourself. And there's a technique on the grinder too. You don't want to move like with your arms. You want to move with your body. So, and you got to be careful around that thing spinning because it'll take clothing. And we were doing it in some pretty cold weather, which he has heaters and stuff in his shop.
But you're wearing some clothes.
But you're wearing clothes anyway. And, you got to be careful not to get it caught up in that grinder.
It's a good thing that you're wearing clothes. You don't want to forge naked.
That's right. Right.
Especially with that grinder when you get them sparks coming off.
That'd be kind of weird. Woo! Well, yeah, I mean, the number one thing he told me walking into the shop was...
crotch.
Oh, my God.
That ought to be your next beard oil scent.
Smoke crotch. Wow. No, but the number one thing he says going in the shop is, just so you know, everything in this shop wants to kill you. So you have to be aware.
Well, that's why I'm here. I want to kill.
That's right. Yeah.
Everything in the shop needs to be worried about me.
Very good.
No, that's cool, man. You'll have that for the rest of your life. That's
absolutely.
That's one of the things I like about knives is, you get a good one. It's going to be around. It's something you're going to pass down. Kids,
grandkids, great grandkids.
I started, what was it? 16th birthdays are like a big deal apparently. And, I've had a few kids, one of my nephews, Stone, my son, and then one of his best friends, when they had their 16th birthday, I got him a knife and, had it engraved and all kinds of stuff. So I'm like, hey, this is going to be with you forever, so put their name on it in like a Bible verse that I thought it was applicable to them. Pretty cool deal. Be even neater if they got to make their own.
Yeah. That's the plan.
That's what I did for, my oldest this year was, we had those conversations, with, Jim, last year on the podcast. And, he's talking about, personal defense and, how
to use a knife,
how to use a knife and what you need to look for. And, when we were talking, one of the things that he brought, or he didn't bring up in that top 3 of his kind of, list of things that you need for self-defense, none of them was a firearm, but one of them was a knife.
I remember how he worded it. You need to know how to use a blade.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so, I've had quite a few conversations, cause Jim and I, talk every so often. And, so I reached out to him and a couple of other friends, that know a lot about bladed weapons and, was like, okay, I want to get my daughter a knife. What do I need to get her? And so, they pointed me in the right direction and I was like, okay, so that's the one that she's going to carry with her, when she's out, doing whatever, and if we leave her, we drop her off, whatever. And it's like, you have that with you just in case, because you never know. And it's always good to have a knife. I go, but it needs to be on your person, not in a purse.
Right.
It needs to be on you.
Where you can have access to it. Yeah.
And then I was asking him, so that it's funny when you talk to these knife people about a specific knife for a specific thing. Cause I started out with, I want to get my daughter a knife. Well, what do you want her to use it for?
To stab people.
And I was like, well,
you like trying to slash or stab or,
I was like, well, I'm looking for one that she can carry with her, and act as a, cause she's not going to carry a firearm. She's not old enough for one, but two, that's not really something that she wants to do. And, I said, so what do we do? And they're like, okay, well, this one here, works for this. And then this one here works for this, but this knife right here, it's the one that I carry. And it was actually one of my buddy's wives that is, she's terrifying.
With a blade?
It doesn't matter.
In general.
Yeah. And, she actually, wears, cause she's, part Asian and part, Indian native. And she actually puts, chopsticks and always has her hair up and uses the chopsticks, but the chopsticks are actually sharpened so that she can always pull them out and stab if she needs to. So these are the type of friends that I'm talking to and I want to know about. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, if we need to stick somebody. So, and she's telling me, she goes, well, this is what I carry. And she goes, it's super smooth. It's not going to get caught up on anything, easy to open. And you can get to it on your body anywhere quickly. And, she goes, so this one, if you pull it out, she goes, it's about 3.5 inches long. She goes, but if you stick it in the right spots, it's going to hit any vital organ that you need it to hit, whether it's this, or this. And I'm like, sold. I was like, no, you're going to have to teach my daughter how to utilize all those techniques. I go, cause I'm not a professional bladed weapon guy. I probably look more like Michael coming after
Mike Myers,
but it was super interesting. And then they go, well, and that's what you want to have, to carry on you is something like that. And I was like, okay. And she goes, now for the car, if she's driving, that's a different story. And she goes, you're going to want something a little bigger and something that you can really, and I forget the exact word she used, but it was almost like, for lack of a better term, waylay or
melee.
Not melee. It wasn't melee, but
slice and dice.
But it was really just pound the crap out of somebody with. And she goes, now for that, she goes, I typically carry a hatchet or a small camping axe in my door. And so she goes, and it's easy to get to if somebody's, I can beat the crap out of somebody with it. And, she's what side to use and all that kind of stuff and how to go about it. So for Christmas this year, my daughter got a knife and a hatchet. And there you go.
All right.
Nice. I like it.
Just one of those things. You never, learn to carry it.
Yep.
Sweet, man.
Yeah.
Really cool.
So knife making, if you want to do it, look up Ross. JaggersKnives.com.
All right. Let's go to break.
(1797) Establishing dominance. A young nation begins the formation of the world's most formidable fleet of naval ships with the commissioning of its first ship, the U.S. frigate Constellation. A lively blend of rosemary, lemon, and peppermint, 1797 is a great blend to start your day. It is a great awakening quality with a minty kick. Much like stepping out on a deck of a ship cruising the brisk ocean waters, this blend will give you that early morning boost. 1797, establishing dominance.
Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
Right, we're back. Top 3 pizza chains. So it can't be your one-off store somewhere in some random place.
I know a lot of those.
It's got to be a chain.
But we're talking chains here.
Matt, why don't you lead us off, buddy?
All right, number 3. Pizza Hut. I like a thin crust pepperoni. If I'm feeling froggy, I like a stuffed crust pizza pepperoni.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the only reason, I would put Domino's on here.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 2 experiences I've had with them have been very subpar.
Gut wrenching, possibly?
Local?
No. Well, I travel.
Yeah.
But the last 2 places in different states have been not good. And I used to love Domino's Pizza.
Well, Pizza Hut was founded right here in Wichita, Kansas.
It was. Yep. It started out as a one store out somewhere randomville.
Yeah.
But they grew.
Mm-hmm.
And grew.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so for those
and
that
then
don't
they
know,
moved their headquarters to Dallas, and I think Wichita should have just dusted their hands of them, but they didn't.
We still have the original Pizza Hut building is on the campus of Wichita State University. Did you know that?
Did it have a red roof?
Did not know that.
No, it does. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No.
But you can go. You can drive right by it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
So that's number 3.
I'm friends with the guy who started Pizza Hut, friends with his daughter. She's a photographer here in town.
Oh, cool.
And I actually...
Is her last name Carney?
No, because she's married, but her maiden name is.
Her maiden name was Carney.
Yeah. I actually filmed his funeral for her when he passed away, I think last year. So
is that how often do you do that?
Film funerals?
Yes.
I've done probably a handful of funerals in my 18 years. So maybe 5 in 18 years.
You set the camera up at my dad's deal.
Yeah.
I still didn't see
That's
it yet.
one.
Yeah.
Was that a...
You have it though. Send it to you.
Did you?
Yeah.
You probably sent it to me right after that, and I'm like, I'm not opening this up.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Still.
was that... Why did you choose to film it? I'm just...
I didn't. I think you did.
No, you asked me to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the deal, the pomp and circumstance. I mean, it was a full
Oh,
honor guard.
military. I got you. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't ask me to film your mom's,
Yeah.
but I filmed
Yeah.
Yeah, because I went to a little off track. It's not top 3 stuff, but went to Arlington when my buddy's grandfather passed away, and he was an officer, full military with the caissons and all that stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, so I used to do that for a living, is play with the honor guard for the Air Force. Wasn't in the Air Force. I was an independent government contractor.
Bingo.
Yeah, I've been contracted by the military.
I was contracted as well 4 years at a time.
Yeah, it was no, I don't know. It's just neat. I think a full honor guard that's special.
Yeah, when I was on I&I duty in Kansas City, that's what we would do, is be the we called it funeral detail.
Yeah,
the taps, the 21 gunner,
right,
and then the folding of the flag and the presentation of the flag to the family.
Yeah. No, that's extremely special.
Yeah,
really special.
And that's one of those things. Marines goof off a lot. That's one of the things that we took absolutely 100% seriously every time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you wanted to absolutely do the best for the family. So, yeah. Anyway.
Wow, that was a detour.
Yeah, it was.
On to the next pizza place.
Number 2, Round Table Pizza.
How many round table pizzas are there?
I've never heard of it.
There's a lot. There's none here. So it's kind of like yours,
I don't know.
Down there in Louisiana.
Define a lot.
I don't actually know how many there are, but I thought it was just like a one store type of deal.
I'm on it.
We're fact checking you.
But
what's the name of it?
Round Table Pizza.
Round Table.
Here it is. Comes right up. Keep telling us about it.
Yeah, but they're in. I was introduced to them in San Diego. And
over 400 restaurants.
It makes the list. It's a chain.
Headquartered in Atlanta, Georgia.
You are 100%. It deserves to be on there.
It does.
No argument from me.
Or Google.
But when you order, and I forget what their large is, but when you order a large Supreme or whatever their Supreme name is for their pizza, it is absolutely phenomenal. And I know that you're not a fan.
King Arthur's Supreme.
Yes.
The King Arthur.
Round Table, King Arthur.
Yeah.
I get it now.
So you would order this pizza, and the mushrooms were, and I know you don't like, you can just keep your comments to yourself.
Oh, they're all named after
Yeah.
King Arthur's. Oh, that's cool.
But the
Excalibur pizza.
I don't know what
No, I didn't see. I did see
I'm sure there
Guinevere.
is.
Sword in the Stone Pizza.
Guinevere's Garden Delight.
Do they wear armor?
That would be cool.
Order?
That would be cool.
I don't know. Maui Zowie. That's not
That's
very
not
round
King
table.
Arthur.
That one probably stinks anyway, but their pizzas are phenomenal. When I was recovering, my wife would hate it because I'd order that about once a week, and it wasn't cheap.
Montague's All Meat Marvel. All right, there's just 3 named round table-ish.
The originals.
What do you get there? What's your favorite? The big one with mushrooms, the King, whatever.
Yeah,
King Arthur Supreme.
The King Arthur, Supreme. So good. Their crust, the sauce, everything is just.
I really do want to,
and it's huge.
To get round table. If you're listening, there needs to be an Excalibur pizza. There just has to be. Your round table. You got King Arthur,
or maybe that's the breadsticks, Excalibur sticks.
Yes,
shaped like swords.
Yes,
for the kids.
I like it.
All right, and then number 1, and there is going to be some backlash on this one, is Gambino's. Now,
not a chain. How many restaurants?
I don't know.
1?
No, there's more than 1. However, and I don't know the complete story behind that, but there is Gambino's Pizza, and then there's the original Gambino's.
There's a Seinfeld episode about this,
which is in.
It's where are you? I'm by Ray's Pizza. Famous Ray's or Original Ray's? No, it's Famous Original Ray's.
Original Famous Ray's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same thing, and I don't know what happened there or how that went about, but their pizza was so good.
They are in 5 states.
Are they really?
Yeah.
So that's
I knew there's more than.
But I don't think that's the original. I think that's Gambino's because you've got to look at the original.
You only
Gambino's.
like it because it's closer to your house.
It's what I
That makes sense.
it's almost equidistant from
Goddard.
Pizza Hut to there, from my house.
I've had it and I wasn't disappointed. I'm not going to argue with you.
I have eaten it with you guys there.
Yeah.
Was not disappointed. It was years ago though.
Yeah. Long time ago.
That's the only time I've eaten there because we had a duck. What's that duck club? We used to be a
Ducks Unlimited.
Ducks Unlimited.
We had that duck club thing.
Till I haven't been duck hunting this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever eaten out there. So we had that.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up eating there because back in the day, that it was closer, because we'd be doing sporting events or whatever it was, and kind of that Colwich area is almost central to to what we were doing, St. Mark's and there in Andale, and so we'd all go there to eat after big game or whatever it was, and that was kind of where we went. And then they had introduced me to cheeseburger pizza, which when I was a kid was awesome.
Yeah.
I can't do it now.
No. I don't even
But
like
it was
to hear
so good when I was a kid.
Taco pizza, I can still do that.
No. I
They
can't.
do make a great taco pizza.
No.
But just really good memories about that
You
place.
do the dessert pizza, but
and then the
that's
pizza
it. I can't go any
is
further.
so consistent and hasn't changed in all the time I've been going there. Nothing's changed.
I'm not going to shun you for it.
Good. Because it's my number
I know
one.
you woke up this morning hoping that this was a day you would not be shunned, but so you got your wish.
Good.
All right, Troy.
All right. Number 3, Papa John's.
Is that just because of the sauce?
It's because they put the peppers in the box with the pizza, like the little banana peppers.
Yeah.
And you can ask for more banana peppers.
They don't charge you for it.
They used to not. Now they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love me some Papa John's. Nobody in my
You get like
family.
a pepperoni or
I'm a classic pepperoni kind of guy when it comes to pizza. I'll do a meat lovers if I'm eating with other people. Don't care for the Supreme. That's my wife's favorite, so I always have to get some kind of veggies on it. I think she's like, it's a little healthier.
it's not.
So it's not. It's pizza, right? So, yeah. And the garlic sauce it's delicious too. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can dip the peppers in it. It's just, it's so good. All right, number 2, Mr. Gatti's.
Mr. Gatti's.
Mr. Gatti's, delicious. Don't have one here in Wichita. I had one in Shreveport where I used to live.
I had one in Alexandria.
And probably one of the best buffets ever.
Yeah?
You started out with salad.
I may want to argue with you on that too, because you're number 1.
Well, I think Gatti's has a better buffet than said number 1 coming up has. Or had.
I've never eaten the Gatti's buffet. I've just
So
had the
Gatti's
pizza.
buffet, we used to go every Sunday night after church. I would meet friends there for lunch. When
Your whole family would go? Like that was a family
like
scenario?
church, like youth group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'd go there. Man, they had big screen TVs. They had a kids room with a big screen TV.
Yeah.
They played kids movies. The other big screen was, during the day it'd play like Dr. Phil, whatever was on TV. But
Days of our lives.
good stuff. And number 1, Johnny's Pizza. Probably the best pizza on the planet
It is.
by far. Yeah, it's so good. Can't beat it.
I'd have to try it first.
Yeah, I understand that you may not know, but
I want to.
once you know, you know.
Because I like
Yeah.
pizza.
And their basic pizza is like thin. So
See, if you wanted like
You
a
don't
thick
have to
crust, you would
go-
have to ask for.
I don't even know if they do it. They
What?
do like a thick crust.
I don't know if they do a different crust. I think it's
all
just
the same.
all the same crust, and it's a hand toss, but it's not thick.
Yeah,
No,
Gambino's
it's-
is the same.
But
way.
it's not thin and crispy either.
No. Yeah, I mean, you could probably get it crispy.
You could
But-
probably tell them to cook it longer to get
It's
it
thin. It's
crispier,
not
but-
thick. It is not thick.
No, but it's not. I'm saying it's not thin and crispy.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
reminds me of like a thin crust from Pizza Hut.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of
It's kind of close, a little bit thicker than that.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
Gambino's
But the dough is fantastic.
Gambino's is the same way.
And then they don't cut it in pies.
They slice it into
Squares.
rectangles.
They go in half.
Rectangles.
You go half, and then it's just like boom, 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 and you're done.
Like Domino's cuts theirs.
No. Domino's cuts
Domino's
it.
just slices.
Pie slices.
No, they do not.
Yeah, they-
Nope.
Pretty sure.
Last time I got a Domino's pizza, they did.
Nope, they're squares.
I don't. Maybe the pizza.
Maybe
you
on the
ordered.
big pizzas, they cut it in the squares. Like the big rectangle pizzas, they
No.
cut those in squares.
Nope. I'm telling you, I literally have ordered.
Let's order a Domino's pizza right
When
now.
was the last time you ate?
I'm kind of getting some hungry
Let's do it. Let's do it.
for some pizza.
Let's order one just to see if it's cut in squares. Yeah, but no, I don't think you can beat a Johnny's Pizza. And they have the sweep the kitchen, seafood sweep the kitchen.
Sweep the swamp.
That's it. Sweep the swamp. So good. So good. They put crawfish tails on their shrimp. What else they put on?
They only cut
Andouille sausage.
their thin crust pizza in squares. Everything else is
Well, that's what
pie
you
shape.
get, right?
That's what I get.
So
So I'm
So-
telling you, it comes in squares.
no.
They cut it just like as you
Your
said.
The one
Because you said yours is thin crust, and they cut it in squares. So if they had a different type, they would probably cut it into triangles.
You're more
Like
wrong
a
than
pie.
you are right.
Nope.
Because they have tons of other kinds of pizzas that they don't cut in squares.
False.
Chet, number 3. What you
But
got?
that sweep the swamp,
Oh, it's phenomenal.
crawfish tails, andouille sausage, because there's everything on it. Pizza's called the sweep the kitchen. Like
So
you
basically,
sweep
it's
Right.
kind of like a
It's a supreme.
boil on a.
no. You don't boil andouille sausage.
Oh, let's not go down that path.
So my number 3, Domino's. Domino's. The pie-shaped Domino's. Not the square-shaped Domino's.
So you don't like the thin crust.
I do like thin crust, but I like their crust on their normal pizzas.
I like the
good
thin
too.
crust because I take 2 pieces, make a sandwich.
So
Delicious.
Matt, I do that. That was the way to get out Johnny's down quicker.
Oh yeah.
Well, I traveled with Matt, long road trip, and Matt was, like, hey, we're gonna feel you out here on your traveling routine. And, how often do you stop? He's like, I don't stop but to get gas. And that's when if you got to pee, that's when you pee. If you're hungry, that's when you get food. If you're not hungry, you better buy food there because we're not stopping to get food, like that kind of thing. And he's like, we're going to stop and stay at a Holiday Inn or Best Western, Holiday Inn Express. Holiday Inn Express that's next to a Domino's. Like, we're going to go to the Holiday Inn Express and we're going to get a Domino's pizza. So then we were trying to figure out just timing wise, we're somewhere in Wyoming, which place we're going to stop. And he's like, well, we have to stop here. We can't go on any further because there's not a Domino's and I get on Google. I'm like, yeah, there is. And he's like, oh, okay, well, we'll go there then. We won't stop now. We'll go another 2 hours. But yeah, Domino's. Number 2, the Mellow mushroom.
I've been to one in
Yes.
Arkansas.
Yeah, I've been to several. Arkansas, North
I've only been
Carolina.
one time though. Pretty good. I can't talk about it. I only ate there once.
It's just good. And I've only had them when I'm traveling, but that's like a good stop. Good pizza. Number 1, Johnny's.
Oh yeah.
Johnny's is just, I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I miss Johnny's.
I do too, man. They had one in Dallas for a while, near Jonathan's house, and when I'd go see him, I'd get one every time. But
Yeah.
he said it closed down. They couldn't keep it up.
Oh man, that stinks.
It's sad.
But they've got Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi.
I'm sure they have some in Texas still, but just that one particular
Yeah.
one in that area didn't stay open.
But that was one of the lunch stops that we had with guys that used to, work with there in Shreveport. It was in some strip mall over off of Kings, and there'd be so many people. It just the ebb and flow. Sometimes you just get everybody showed up for lunch there at their buffet.
Oh yeah.
But there's more people than they got pizzas coming out, and so we got to know where you could hear them the way they cut that pizza. It wasn't like they had that roller thing. It's a chop.
Yeah.
They just chop that thing. So, you're sitting there and like, oh man, there's no pizza at the buffet. We got to wait until such and such. And then you hear in the back, you do. and then you just get up and go wait because the pizza's about to come.
It's like the dinner bell.
Yes, exactly like that. And some of the best sweet tea I've ever had, Johnny's Pizza.
Now I will say,
I'd
like
mind that.
I did say, Gatti's has like the ultimate buffet, which they do, but
Yeah.
Johnny's is the second,
Yeah.
but hands down.
Well, just because of the pizza itself.
Well, yeah, but just this how they had it set up at Gatti's, you can't beat it.
The party pizza is what they called it. It was a one topping, 14-inch. It was a large. At Johnny's was, I don't know. I wanted to say it was like $5 something. $5.99 when I was in college. And so that's you can eat half of one. So you can go in like $3 with a buddy and have a whole half of a pizza. We did it all the time.
When I was playing baseball in high school, I would eat a whole one, probably the 12-inch
Good gracious.
whole one,
Yeah.
just because I was burning so many calories and
He
running.
they grew their house was right behind one.
oh
And
yeah, I
so,
probably ate
to this day, Stone does it too.
3 or 4 times a week. I'd eat.
Whenever you call, like whenever you would call your sister, my wife,
Oh, yeah.
she'd answer the phone and Johnny's on Uri. Like that. That's how she'd answer the phone. Like they're calling to get pizza. Now my son does that, which is kind of funny. And they all love Johnny's too.
798-5654.
Johnny's on Uri.
That's the phone number.
I gathered.
All right, Matt, why don't you bring us a good word?
I can do that. So we're still moving along in the Chosen Book 2, and this one comes out of Luke 5:16, and it says Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed. And you know, it talks about how it's befitting that nobody in the New Testament was described as lonely because Jesus was there. And when you think about that, it's people think about being lonely all the time. It's like, oh, I feel alone, or whatever. And the truth is that you're not, and it's in those quiet times and quiet places where you can actually communicate with God. And I think today with so many distractions and how easy it is to just, I'm bored or I'm alone, I'm just going to get on my phone and watch videos, as I tend to do sometimes, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, and even since COVID and the lockdown after that,
it's
becoming
even worse.
Yeah, loneliness is on the rise for being harmful. Yeah.
And you don't have to be, it's in those moments where you can really pray and communicate and not be distracted by other things. And so you can, to me, and I know that I think the book itself, which you can buy, but I take it just kind of a different direction than they take it. And I look at that time of being, alone, so to speak, just kind of by myself. And I go to my cabin, and I'm alone. I'm by myself because it's my chance to get away, and Jesus did that quite often. He would go away, and they, the disciples didn't know really what was going on, and then he would come back, and that's when he would kind of present his thoughts from where he just was, and so,
yeah,
because that was his time to actually speak and pray and meditate and figure out, what God's will was and what God wanted him to do. And so I think we just take a note out of that playbook, as we should, and do that ourselves. And just know that, in times like this, when you're looking at mandates or lockdowns or, whatever, and separating yourself, that you're not ever alone with Jesus. So that's kind of what I take from that.
Yeah. I just thought about, I couldn't remember the specific address of the passage, but it's actually Mark 1. I just looked that up. Mark 1:35 also mentions very early in the morning while it was still dark, Jesus got up and left to go pray, so he practiced being alone. You talked about how it refreshes you. to be out there. Me too. I like getting out and just being, but also not being distracted while you're being alone.
Right.
And I think that's part of a healthy human is to get away from all your distractions and just kind of think about what really is, what's going on, who you are, what are you doing, kind of that evaluation. And when you're around people, it's just hard to do that. You're always distracted with something else.
Yeah. Well, and technology is a huge player in that distraction.
It's probably our biggest distraction.
I would say so.
Yeah.
And, but when I go out to my hunting camp, for the longest time, there was no phone service. There was no internet. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And so it's still kind of that way. So if I leave the cabin, my phone, unless I'm hunting for safety purposes, my phone doesn't go with me because it doesn't work when I'm out on the property anyway. It only works if I'm in my hunting blind and I hold it way up high, and then I can get which I think you guys know when I'm trying to text you and nothing comes through. And so even in my blind, if I put the phone down, I have it there, but I can actually be alone in thought and clear your head, and see what direction you really need to go, what your purpose really is.
Yeah.
And so those times, like you said, it's super refreshing just to actually be alone and do those things.
Yep.
All right, man.
And it's biblical. And I think you actually talked about that before, being alone and actually consciously being alone, making time to actually do that.
An effort.
Yeah, making an effort to have that time.
No, I think it's important. And it ebbs and flows. I mean, you Troy, it's hard with 5 young kids in the house right now.
Yep.
And there are times in my life where that was hard too. Heck, when you're laid up in the hospital for months on end, you're not going to be alone
ever.
No, somebody's going to come in there and wake you up every 2 hours.
Every 2 hours. Hey, we need to check this. We need to do that. Oh,
yeah.
Hey, blood draw. Hey, I'm physical therapy. I'm here to do this.
Well, you got some of that. I know it wasn't that long, but I enjoyed the hospital stay that I had when I was in the hospital with COVID. Like it was neat, to be able to just, I got nothing right now. I got nothing to do but think.
Yeah.
It's kind of refreshing and listen.
Yeah,
I think listen is the big portion of that.
Listen, and the biggest thing for me is just to de-stress.
Yeah.
Because thinking about work all the time or what the kids need and all that stuff, it can really wear on you. And
well, I mean, imagine, and like here with Jesus, there's two passages of scripture where he was ministering to these disciples, and then let alone all the other people that were around him, following him. He got out of there. Like I've got to go away.
I need a break.
Yeah.
I think the Chosen the show does a really good way of showing, how he disappears a lot and how he does. Like it's every day it takes a toll on him, and he gets stressed out and he gets worn down. And
well, and it's stressed, in the series anyway. And I'm sure, in real life, that's kind of what I would think, because they got, the disciples that were there to protect him and guard him. And then they'd wake up and where's he at?
Yeah.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
Oh, here he comes. Where'd he go?
Because he's like, I think one of them says one time, why is he always doing this? Where is he going?
Yeah. Yeah. Or they're, when they're in the town or something like that, and, he's supposed to be somewhere, and they go look, and where'd he go? Oh.
Yeah.
You go look here, and you go look here, and you go look here.
And there's that one scene where he's healing people all day, and he comes in and he's like, oh, they're all eating or waiting for him. And he's like, oh, hey, y'all. He just goes in his tent and goes to bed. And they're like, what in the world?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was wore out.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, Matt.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.